23F. Why can't I bring myself to leave this emotionally, physically, and verbally abusive relationship? I need advice, weary face. I've been on and off dating this young man, who is around 19 to 20 years old, for almost a year. He has no job and has never had one. He doesn't want to pursue his education, preferring instead to smoke and play video games all day. When it comes to loving me, he doesn't love me the way I want to be loved, but I love him the way I want to be loved, and he takes advantage of that. We argue a lot, which is why our relationship is so on and off, and he continuously cheats on me. I know that should be a deal breaker, and I do leave him for short periods, but I always go back to him or accept him when he wants to come back. There are times when I leave that I constantly think about him, and I can't see my life being complete without him. But then there are times when I feel like leaving is a must, that I'm better off without him, and I can never go back. One day, I was coming off my period and wanted him to come to my apartment and spend time with me. He said he would, and then asked me for $40. When I said no, he responded by saying he didn't like my attitude and that I was being nasty just because I didn't want to give him money for weed. He then said he wasn't coming over to my apartment and accused me of only wanting him there to have sex. He told me to have sex with someone else, and I was so hurt. That night, I ended up calling my ex and inviting him over. Long story short, he found out and did not take it well. When he came over after finding out I had cheated, he initially came on good terms, but got angry and violent when I denied giving him oral sex. He then beat me, saying that he loved me while he did it. While trying to calm him down in the midst of getting beaten, I called him by his full name. He responded, "Yeah, say it how my mom used to," and that scared me immensely. The end result of that day was him leaving bruises on my body and dark teeth marks on my face. I spent a month away from him, which was the longest we've ever been apart, but recently I called him, and he came over. When trying to gain closure from that day, he laughed at me while I brought up the abusive things he did to me. He even claimed that I blacked out and was the first to abuse him physically, which he used to justify his actions. But I vividly remember him asking me to hit him that day so he could knock me out, and when I didn't, he did it anyway. Regardless, I forgave him. Even though he didn't apologize, he wanted me to apologize first, and we had sex that night. I don't know what I am doing. My friends, even though they don't want to judge me, are constantly questioning why I want to be with him, and I can't respond because I don't know. I know I can't be with him, that he brings me down, but somehow I tend to forget that and still want him with me. Hey Redditus, I was introduced to a guy by my best friend, and our friendship quickly turned into strong physical attraction. Over the course of the last couple of weeks, we have hung out in social settings, and I am really started to like him. His last relationship was back in October 2024, or so he says, and I know of his ex-girlfriend. For some reason, when we first started talking, I used to have this feeling that there is some unfinished business with his ex. They seem very on and off, and it's a very toxic relationship. Over the weekend, he invited me on a weekend getaway trip where he planned everything. All in all, I think it went pretty great. He's caring, attentive, generous, and very masculine. Out of respect to me, he booked me a separate hotel room and did not try to have sex because he wants me to be fully comfortable, and he said he likes me a lot, so he wants to just make sure everything is perfect. He has introduced me to his friends and talks about future activities, which sounds like he likes me. On Saturday, he went for a swim and left his phone next to me and my friend so we can pick the music, and he got 3 missed FaceTime calls from a name that appeared to be the friend that was on the trip with us, but wasn't on the beach. My friend didn't want to pick up, but went to his messages to text the guy to come meet us. But when she was about to type up a message, she saw the older messages with this guy friend, and it was actually his ex. They're still in contact, and the messages seem strange.